And that is when it starts to affect us externally. Your appearances look different. That's not to say that you don't look, you're abnormal, no. It's just saying your grooming is poor, you look pale, you have all this dark circle under your eyes, you're not yourself, your behavior is totally awkward, and you want to isolate yourself. And you become very annoyed easily, maybe
Yes.
because people are
Your
asking,
attitude.
what is going on? Are you okay? You all right? Everything good? All right, who can associate with emotional relapse? 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Mental relapse. Who can associate with mental relapse?
Definitely.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay.
That's what I do every time.
What do you do, sir?
Exactly what you said. I play
Tug of war.
an internal tug of war with myself, my mind and body, part physical too.
Yeah.
And I start convincing myself, well, you know, I'm not gonna get caught this time. I'm not gonna go back to jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna spend all my money.
One blast.
Before you know it.
Yep.
Okay. I'm glad you're able to pinpoint those things because.
Tell you that's what's gonna become my success.
Right.
I know it.
Good. And physical relapse.
That's where you all in now.
Physical relapse. At this point, you thought about it so much, you agreed that you're gonna do this. Now it's all a matter of time. Let me just get to the right place so I can do what I gotta do. Because you already left the group, you already left your mother's house, your girlfriend's house. Now you're your route to where is it you need to get there. By the time you get there, you already know exactly how you're gonna do whatever you need to do. Anybody have any questions on this? What do you guys, one more question, what do you guys think about that percentage that we have there, the relapse rate? What do you guys think about that? This was actually done in February of this year, which means it probably changed by now. It's probably 60-40 maybe, if not, it's probably, I hope it stays at 40-60.
I said a little higher.
Like say 70 to 80.
Yes, you gotta be high.
What is higher?
Relapse rate probably 70 or 80, not 40 to 60.
So you're saying that 40% is higher?
No, it needs to be 70 to 80% instead of 40 to 60 for the relapse rate. Yeah.
Relapse rate, okay.
Because I haven't met a single person that got high and just stopped being high.
You haven't met one person?
I ain't met no one person.
So
I've
let
met a
me,
few,
you have? Okay.
but I don't know how long
People
it took
have
to get
relapsed?
there.
Relapse?
Probably before I passed. I know people who are now living a clean life,
Okay,
haven't been deeply entrenched in a good life.
okay. So, yes, sir.
I believe because the court systems are involved in treatments more now, drug court, mental health court. I believe relapse is probably higher because we're sentencing people that are not ready to stop. You're sentencing people that are ready for a time cut, because that's what they do for you. So the relapse rate is probably higher.
Right, everything is true. Mental health court, drug court, programs, the way that we do our programs, the way the curriculums are set, MRT, everything is out there and it's shown that it works. Different programs for different people, different strokes for different people, it is proven that it works. But what happens is that if you're not ready, it's not gonna happen. If you are not ready to say, I need to stop doing this, it's not gonna happen. If you feel that you giving a clinician too much information about yourself is an invasion of your privacy, you don't want to say anything, well then that's how much of the treatment you'll get in return, that much. When in reality, you probably needed this much. So this basically says that both parties are doing it wrong. Me. The programs are doing it wrong because whatever the clients are saying or not saying is what we're taking in, and that's how we work in your plan. Not all the programs will fit and help anybody. But if you're ready to commit to say to yourself, I'm going to stop doing this, I'm not doing this anymore. You will sit with a clinician and you will answer those questions as truthful as possible. And you will be open-minded to learn how to change your behaviors in order for you to then come back out and have a different response or have a different way of living. Because if you are not ready to change in here and you are forced to come here, you were ordered to be here, and you have to be here, and you hate this and you hate the other, and you're still storming out of group and you're still getting pissed off, then you're not ready. Yeah.
Takes a strong determination.
And
Like 15 and a half years, it was all the time, man. I mean, it was a constant struggle.
it's all up to you.
Every day.
It's always up to you.
Yep.
Some people come in here ready. Some people come in here not ready. It's about time to go and they're still not ready. Some people make it through the program halfway and then they are ready. The scary part is that a lot of people are getting ready to go. We know they're not ready. But they want to leave. Against clinical advice, they still leave. You can leave. But are you really ready to leave? Are you really ready to tell yourself, I'm going to start doing this?
Honestly, yes.
Honestly, yes.
From a professional perspective, how can you tell if an individual is really great? Is it by gut instincts or from history of the age?
Individual behaviors.
I just want to say too, from the time I've been here over this almost whole year now, I've seen that people who actually end up kissing the most ass around here and doing the most, as golden childs, they're the ones that actually fuck up. And the people who actually fuck off in here but still try, like you just see them, playing around or fucking off, are actually the ones who are doing good and still out there. So all the golden childs around here, that's usually what happens. It's not usually, most of the time. That's the percentage rate. Those people who are just fucking off though, but they're still doing the work, but maybe you see them playing around. That's the person that's like, oh, they're not gonna make it. Watch them, they're gonna make it. That's just how it is. It doesn't matter age or any of that shit, dude. Like a lot of people, even like youth, like my youth, like okay, that might be against me, but fuck it, I don't have nothing to explain. It's for me.
This term kissing ass, you mean kissing the females on the ass? What are you saying?
Yeah, going right up there and just kissing their ass. No, not like that. I mean, like, I'm just saying the people who, like, going out of their way to make everyone's life hell. Act like they're God themselves. So you heard.
So, behavior. It's behavior. Sometimes people in here will tell us the most perfect answers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So all we do is really sit and listen. I'm like, oh, I really want to hear this. And then their behaviors say the total opposite. They're sneaky, they want to lie, they want to tell me one thing, tell Miss Marie something else, tell Marcus something else, the camera say something else. It's like, wow. And honestly, we're not supposed to come back and bash you because that's who you want us, you want to present yourself like that to me, that's fine. But honestly, who are you really lying to?
So
Yeah, man. Really.
That pose right there, I gotta get you.
So it's behavior, no gut feeling, no, let's make a bet. We don't do that. That's not cool. But it's your behavior. What do you present? Who are you exactly? When you're out here doing your groups with DHT, when you're in here doing your groups with another counselor, what is your behavior like? Things to think about. Manipulation is a wonderful thing in here. So, it's all about how serious are you about the group? How serious are you about treatment? And honestly, and it's as sincere as I can be with everybody in here, a lot of people will say, I'm just not ready. That's cool. Because that means that you're telling a person that you're not ready because you also are seeking more help. You're seeking more hands-on, you're seeking more attention, you're seeking that you need some more than just probably handouts. You need probably more support because you're trying to make this better. So you telling one of us that you are not ready, it really makes us think, okay, what is it? How is it that we can get information, get tools for this person so that they can actually feel more secure about themselves, that they're going to be okay when they get out of here. That's all it is. Okay, good?
Good.
All right. Where's my guy? So when Bobby leaves, I need another person to manage the remote.
Jesse,
So
Jesse, I think you'd be good for it because
Jesse?
it's a little simpler to explain for you. You're more computer suave.
Savvy.
I don't give a fuck.
Techie savvy. All right, this is what, 15 minutes?
16.
16 minutes. We got that.
What starts here changes the world. I have a few suggestions that may help you on your way to a better world. And while these lessons were learned during my time in the military, I can assure you that it matters not whether you ever served a day in uniform. It matters not your gender, your ethnic or religious background, your orientation, or your social status. Our struggles in this world are similar, and the lessons to overcome those struggles and to move forward, changing ourselves and changing the world around us, will apply equally to all. So here are the 10 lessons I learned from basic SEAL training that hopefully will be of value to you as you move forward in life. Every morning in SEAL training, my instructors, who at the time were all Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barracks room, and the first thing they'd do was inspect my bed. If you did it right, the corners would be square, the covers would be pulled tight, the pillow centered just under the headboard, and the extra blanket folded neatly at the foot of the rack. It was a simple task, mundane at best, but every morning we were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. During SEAL training, the students are all broken down into boat crews. Each crew is 7 students, 3 on each side of a small rubber boat, and 1 coxswain to help guide the dinghy. Every day, your boat crew forms up on the beach and is instructed to get through the surf zone and paddle several miles down the coast. In the winter, the surf off San Diego can get to be 8 to 10 feet high, and it is exceedingly difficult to paddle through the plunging surf unless everyone digs in. Every paddle must be synchronized to the stroke count of the coxswain. Everyone must exert equal effort, or the boat will turn against the wave and be unceremoniously dumped back on the beach. For the boat to make it to its destination, everyone must paddle. You can't change the world alone. You will need some help. And to truly get from your starting point to your destination takes friends, colleagues, the goodwill of strangers, and a strong coxswain to guide you. If you want to change the world, find someone to help you paddle. Over a few weeks of difficult training, my SEAL class, which started with 150 men, was down to just 42. There were now 6 boat crews of 7 men each. I was in the boat with the tall guys, but the best boat crew we had was made up of the little guys, the Munchkin crew we call them. No one was over 5'5". The Munchkin boat crew had one American Indian, one African American, one Polish American, one Greek American, one Italian American, and 2 tough kids from the Midwest. They out-paddled, outran, and outswam all the other boat crews. The big men in the other boat crews would always make good-natured fun of the tiny little flippers the Munchkins put on their tiny little feet prior to every swim. But somehow these little guys from every corner of the nation and the world always had the last laugh, swimming faster than everyone and reaching the shore long before the rest of us. SEAL training was a great equalizer. Nothing mattered but your will to succeed, not your color, not your ethnic background, not your education, not your social status. If you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart, not by the size of their flippers. Several times a week, the instructors would line up the class and do a uniform inspection. It was exceptionally thorough. Your hat had to be perfectly starched, your uniform immaculately pressed, your belt buckle shiny and void of any smudges. But it seemed that no matter how much effort you put into starching your hat or pressing your uniform or polishing your belt buckle, it just wasn't good enough. The instructors would find something wrong. For failing the uniform inspection, the student had to run, fully clothed, into the surf zone, then wet from head to toe, roll around on the beach until every part of your body was covered with sand. The effect was known as sugar cookie. You stayed in the uniform the rest of the day, cold, wet, and sandy. There were many a student who just couldn't accept the fact that all their efforts were in vain, that no matter how hard they tried to get the uniform right, it went unappreciated. Those students didn't make it through training. Those students didn't understand the purpose of the drill. You were never going to succeed. You were never going to have a perfect uniform. The instructors weren't going to allow it. Sometimes, no matter how well you prepare or how well you perform, you still end up as a sugar cookie. It's just the way life is sometimes. If you want to change the world, get over being a sugar cookie and keep moving forward. Every day during training, you were challenged with multiple physical events: long runs, long swims, obstacle courses, hours of calisthenics, something designed to test your mettle. Every event had standards, times you had to meet. If you failed to meet those times, those standards, your name was posted on the list. And at the end of the day, those on the list were invited to a circus. A circus was 2 hours of additional calisthenics designed to wear you down, to break your spirit, to force you to quit. No one wanted a circus. A circus meant that for that day, you didn't measure up. A circus meant more fatigue, and more fatigue meant that the following day would be more difficult and more circuses were likely. But sometime during SEAL training, everyone made the circus list. But an interesting thing happened to those who were constantly on the list. Over time, those students who did 2 hours of extra calisthenics got stronger and stronger. The pain of the circuses built inner strength and physical resiliency. Life is filled with circuses. You will fail. You will likely fail often. It will be painful. It will be discouraging. At times, it will test you to your very core. But if you want to change the world, don't be afraid of the circuses. At least twice a week, the trainees were required to run the obstacle course. The obstacle course contained 25 obstacles, including a 10-foot wall, a 30-foot cargo net, a barbed wire crawl, to name a few. But the most challenging obstacle was the slide for life. It had a 3-level, 30-foot tower at one end and a 1-level tower at the other. In between was a 200-foot-long rope. You had to climb the 3-tiered tower, and once at the top, you grabbed the rope, swung underneath the rope, and pulled yourself hand over hand until you got to the other end. The record for the obstacle course had stood for years when my class began in 1977. The record seemed unbeatable until one day a student decided to go down the slide for life head first. Instead of swinging his body underneath the rope and inching his way down, he bravely mounted the top of the rope and thrust himself forward. It was a dangerous move, seemingly foolish and fraught with risk. Failure could mean injury and being dropped from the course. Without hesitation, the student slid down the rope perilously fast. Instead of several minutes, it only took him half that time. And by the end of the course, he had broken the record. If you want to change the world, sometimes you have to slide down the obstacles head first. During the land warfare phase of training, the students are flown out to San Clemente Island, which lies off the coast of San Diego. The waters off San Clemente are a breeding ground for the great white sharks. To pass SEAL training, there are a series of long swims that must be completed. One is the night swim. Before the swim, the instructors joyfully brief the students on all the species of sharks that inhabit the waters off San Clemente. They assure you, however, that no student has ever been eaten by a shark. It's not that they can remember. But you are also taught that if a shark begins to circle your position, stand your ground. Do not act afraid. And if the shark, hungry for a midnight snack, darts towards you, then summons up all your strength with them. So if you want to change the world, don't back down from the sharks. As Navy SEALs, one of our jobs is to conduct underwater attacks against enemy shipping. We practice this technique extensively during training. The ship attack mission is where a pair of SEAL divers is dropped off outside an enemy harbor and then swims well over 2 miles underwater, using nothing but a depth gauge and a compass to get to the target. During the entire swim, even well below the surface, there is some light that comes through. It is comforting to know that there is open water above you. But as you approach the ship, which is tied to a pier, the light begins to fade. The steel structure of the ship blocks the moonlight. It blocks the surrounding street lamps. It blocks all ambient light. To be successful in your mission, you have to swim under the ship and find the keel, the center line, and the deepest part of the ship. This is your objective. But the keel is also the darkest part of the ship, where you cannot see your hand in front of your face. The noise from the ship's machinery is deafening, and where it gets to be easily disoriented, and you can fail. Every SEAL knows that under the keel, at that darkest moment of the mission, is a time when you need to be calm, when you must be calm, when you must be composed, when all your tactical skills, your physical power, and your inner strength must be brought to bear. If you want to change the world, you must be your very best in the darkest moments. The ninth week training is referred to as Hell Week. It is 6 days of no sleep, constant physical and mental harassment, and one special day at the Mud Flats. The Mud Flats are an area between San Diego and Tijuana where the water runs off and creates the Tijuana Sloughs, a swampy patch of terrain where the mud will engulf you. It is on Wednesday of Hell Week that you paddle down in the Mud Flats and spend the next 15 hours trying to survive this freezing cold, the howling wind, and the incessant pressure to quit from the instructors. As the sun began to set that Wednesday evening, my training class, having committed some egregious infraction of the rules, was ordered into the mud. The mud consumed each man till there was nothing visible but our heads. The instructors told us we could leave the mud if only 5 men would quit. Only 5 men, just 5 men, and we could get out of the oppressive cold. Looking around the mud flat, it was apparent that some students were about to give up. It was still over 8 hours till the sun came up. 8 more hours of bone-chilling cold. The chattering teeth and the shivering moans of the trainees were so loud, it was hard to hear anything. And then one voice began to echo through the night. One voice raised in song. The song was terribly out of tune, but sung with great enthusiasm. One voice became 2, and 2 became 3, and before long, everyone in the class was singing. The instructors threatened us with more time in the mud if we kept up the singing, but the singing persisted, and somehow the mud seemed a little warmer, and the wind a little tamer, and the dawn not so far away. If I have learned anything in my time traveling the world, it is the power of hope. The power of one person, a Washington, a Lincoln, King, Mandela, and even the young girl from Pakistan, Malala. One person can change the world by giving people hope. So if you want to change the world, start singing when you're up to your neck in mud. Finally, in SEAL training, there's a bell. A brass bell that hangs in the center of the compound for all the students to see. All you have to do to quit is ring the bell. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to wake up at 5 o'clock. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to pee in the freezing cold swims. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to do the runs, the obstacle course, the PT, and you no longer have to endure the hardships of training. All you have to do is ring the bell to get out. If you want to change the world, don't ever ring the bell. It will not be easy. Start each day with a task completed. Find someone to help you through life. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are the toughest, face down the bullies, lift up the downtrodden, and never, ever give up. If you do these things, the next generation and the generations that follow will live in a world far better than the one we have today. And what started here will indeed have changed the world for the better. Thank you very much.
That was,
Do you need this anymore?
thank you. Jesse, that was a
Oh, Jesse, you picked that?
Yes.
That's
you
good.
did.
That was good. Do you need this anymore, or can I?
No, you can leave it. You can turn it. No, I need the other one.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
So, what do you guys think?
Inspiring.
Inspiring. Yeah, man. Nothing is easy. Nobody said it was gonna be easy. No one said it was gonna be a stroll in the park. Nobody said that. But it's hard, but it's okay because this is why, and this is the reason why you will never forget, because it's hard. It's hard having to get up in the morning, make your bed, come to breakfast. Oh, this is what you're gonna. All that stuff is hard. You wanted to go out and see your family, your children. You can't. You have an probation. You can. If you do, you're not coming back in. A lot of people still have cravings. They feel it. They see it. It's vivid. But it's hard. But they don't leave. They stay. They stick it through. What do you guys feel? Think.
That was a very powerful video right there, hard-headed. I felt that shit.
Got me thinking about what I gotta talk about with you.
With me, what do you mean?
One, two, 10.
Maybe so bad.
Yes, sir.
You take one rope, you take 3 ropes and braid it, it's 10 times stronger than one rope. Think about it. Can't do yourself. If you're trying to help yourself, it's not gonna work. If you help others, it'll work.
How do you think that this clip has bring some light into your lives today? That's what this is for. That's why I do it. Every Saturday I want to do this. And I really want to see that everybody in here really gets a real good message from these motivators. Yeah.
You know, like really, all those steps were about what you could do to make your life better. You really don't have to do with anybody else. I mean, there's one that says like you need other people, but that's about you finding other people. It's about you completing a task. It's about you facing down bullies and having courage and not giving up and making sure you do your best. Like focus on you, what you need to get accomplished, and accomplish it.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what comes in front of you. Just do it. I just do it.
Some of them main points, I think, section, you would always be found something. You would always find something that you know, and life benefits. You're told to be teach, protect us. You got to feel progress further. You got that.
You already had that? Anybody else? You guys don't give me feedback. We're not gonna do this anymore because that's the point. everybody involved in, how is this gonna help you with your own, time that you're here?
Oh, it really made me think of, I wrote it down,
You have to write
everything.
everything that was said in the video? Okay.
There was another
Like
part,
a lot of those things are stuff that you're taught and told during life, and a lot of it is common sense. So it's just a reinforcement that they are the right stuff to take.
You said common sense?
Yeah.
It made me think actually that, my papa was a Navy SEAL, and that's one thing I always wanted to be with the Navy, but due to me getting certain charges and being on probation, that kind of had to choice, so. But
Is that
I'd
for real?
have loved to join the Navy. I still would to this day.
That was really cool that you actually take this.
I listen to that a lot when either feeling down or like when I fail.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I put it on, because no matter how much you fail, you just keep going, you never give up. Eventually you either get it, change something about another step,
Yeah,
or bring to light something new.
right. Mhm. Yes, sir.
And I thought it was very inspiring. I like the end of it with the bell.
Bell?
He kept saying how easy it was to ring the bell, and I kept thinking about how many times I have rung the bell and gave in a lot of different situations besides addiction, but a lot of my addiction and gave in, relapsed and whatever.
Mhm.
And this is like, don't ring the bell. And I want to stick with that, no matter what, don't ring the bell,
Don't ring the
no
bell.
matter what,
Yes.
And, so, yeah.
I agree with what Marcel said though, because it is, like, almost all of those are pretty much common sense that we were once either brought up with, it's just utilizing them.
Mhm.
So like, when I listen to it, it just reminds me.
Right.
on another part, very inspiring. It's like, this 5 of y'all give up, I mean, or y'all could all give up, y'all could all go back to your normal procedure. And they was about to give up because it was cold and shit, it was freezing. Then one dude started singing that little battle cry for that one dude, and then another dude chimed in, and then they all, so you gotta remember, you might have to be that one dude to set the pace, to set the shit off, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Be that one dude.
Like for me, well, I like the very first one, but I also like the one where the guy broke the record and it said like, you gotta take a risk. Like we're all, addicted to this one substance or another, and the risk being like if you want a different life, you have to risk not, falling on the drugs anymore, which is scary for some people.
Yes.
Not having that way of coping with what's going on in their lives. So,
Mhm.
if you want to change everything, change everything.
Go ahead. Yes.
Well, 10 suggestions is, basically it's like MRT guidance where you change your behaviors, it builds your character. Build your character, you feel better about yourself, so do it.
Well said. Put your hand up. Well said. It's all about you, your behavior to build your character. You have to change, regardless of what you're doing here, you have to change for yourself. You're gonna go, if you are still the same person with the same mentality, you don't think any different than from when the day you came in, and you're going back to the same place, I'm going to rehash that again, you're going back to the same place where you came from, there hasn't been no progress done. No, nothing. The time you spent here, it was just sit back and eat. Gather nothing from group, gather nothing from MRT if you did MRT. The point is to change the way we think, our thoughts, so we can have a different behavior, so we can address things differently. And we can stop the excuses of, well, it was you, because she, because you, because they. No, come on. I get that when you're probably here in the quarantine. But once you come over to this side, you've been with me for 2, 3 months. Those excuses are what they are, excuses. So you need to start changing your thoughts, your mind, your awareness of, okay, what is it that I'm doing? What is it that I need to do different? How am I gonna do this any different? And a lot of people will say, I'm not ready. That's fine, but at least you're saying you're not ready, which means, like I said before, it means that you're asking for more help. And actually, that is very well respected in here, because that means that you're really trying to reach someone to help you more, because you want to get out of where you are.
He's still working on you.
And that's perfectly fine. Anybody have any questions? We're at 25 minutes out. No questions? Concerns? What did you get out of the video?
The video, I got kind of like, it inspired me to be motivated to better, like, do better stuff and positive things. The lessons, the 1 through 10 that they were saying, they're trying to fit for me.
Okay. Yes.
Just to see, when you come down the road, say head first, I guess you gotta start with hip first and work it out, do the rest of the body.
Okay. Lieutenant?
Yeah, the smallest, the first one, the small task completed, then the many tasks completed, then the big task completed. That's like the heart of it all.
Right, because if you can manage the little ones, the big ones are just gonna sunk you in. And then that's, setting ourselves up for failure. Because if you can't do the small ones, but you're trying to inch out for the big one, setting up yourself for failure. Yeah.
I like this a lot because, like, even though he used a lot of examples from like when he was in the SEAL team, and my dad was actually a Navy SEAL, and so I know many stories about how hard that training is. It's the toughest training in the world, and et cetera, et cetera. And I think the whole message of the video is that pushing yourself to the point that you don't think that you could push yourself to, like, if you are gonna go through a lot of points where you wanna give up, I feel like you give up, but you'd be surprised how far you can actually push your mind and body if you keep, strong in faith and do the little things that he talked about throughout the video. And so not all of us could obviously be Navy SEALs, but you can take that same thinking and motivation and apply it to, like, finally getting over addiction and living a good life. Like, a lot of us feel maybe that we can, even I have before, where I can never change. I can never push myself to the point of finally getting out of this lifestyle and addiction and trapped thinking of myself. But you'd be surprised by accomplishing these small little things, how these little behaviors can help change your whole perception on life itself, and you're able to finally push yourself out of the throes of addiction and the negatives that you're going through.
Well said. Well said. Okay. So
We'll start.
nobody ring the bell. Don't ring that bell.
Thank God we don't have one.
Don't ring that bell. Don't say I'm gonna ring the bell. Don't think about ringing that bell. We don't have a bell. You're right. Don't do anything. Don't play. Don't ring nothing. Just focus on yourselves and do what you gotta do in this place to stay sober. You have a great afternoon. Yeah. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. So we have an announcement. Ruben. Oh, okay. Well, Ruben wants to know who would like a copy of the Serenity Prayer? Huh? Who would like a copy of this Serenity Prayer? Well, we'll make copies of them up front if you want one. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
What's that? Call it.
And I thought you were paying attention.